Set in the 1930s in a strict elite British boarding school called St. Matilda's, the story centers on a clique of girls who idolize their enigmatic diving instructor, Miss G. In the film, we learn that Miss G had been a student at the same school where she now works and may have continued at the school after graduating. Dee Radfield has a crush on Miss G and is her group's firm favorite and ringleader. When a beautiful Spanish girl named Fiamma Corona arrives at the school, Miss G's focus is shifted away from the other girls. It becomes a triangle. Miss G gets increasingly obsessed with Fiamma. Fiamma is disturbed by Miss G and also openly disgusted by the teacher's hypocrisies and deceptions, and Dee is jealous and makes Fiamma's life hell. Miss G, who claims to be a world traveler, goes to a nearby parochial town to buy some provisions. She draws the unwanted attention of some local louts and is visibly upset and in a near panic when she returns to the school. The bullying culminates in Dee physically throwing Fiamma out of the school but unable to return to Spain as she hoped. Fiamma returns later that night. Dee and Fiamma begin to develop a friendship. Fiamma faints at a dorm party, and Miss G takes her to her room, where she rapes her while passed out. Dee witnesses this and flees. The following day, Fiamma is visibly upset, and Miss G is equally distressed as she runs around after her. Dee is broody and tells the rest of her gang that Fiamma seduced Miss G. Fiamma presumably tells Miss G that she will report the molestation to the teachers, and horrified Miss G realizes her career will be over. She in turn manipulates Dee's affection for her into anger. She says that Fiamma will make up lies about her molesting her, even though it was true, and plans to get her kicked out of school. Dee refuses to allow this to happen. The confrontation between Dee's gang and Fiamma turns ugly as Fiamma declines to answer Dee's vicious questions, and tries to explain what happened, hinting at Miss G's lies and character defects. Fiamma runs into the forest as things become more violent, but the girls catch up with her, and under Dee's leadership beat her with their sticks and fists. Fiamma starts to have an asthma attack, and the girls stop, terrified. They run to get help, and Dee runs into Miss G, who had been watching the beating and the chase that ensued quietly, and with no attempt to stop the beating. She says she'll stay with Fiamma and directs Dee to get a teacher. In the forest, Miss G, alone with Fiamma, refuses to give Fiamma her inhaler and calmly watches her die. Dee returns just in time to see Miss G placing the inhaler in Fiamma's lifeless hand, realizing the truth. Later, Dee tells the other girls what happened, and united they confront Miss G. They are officially powerless, but they quit the diving team and symbolically turn in their sashes. The headmistress refuses to acknowledge the school's culpability and seems only concerned with the school's reputation, but releases Miss G from her duties temporarily. The final scene has Dee leaving the school to explore the world, as both Fiamma and Miss G had spoken of doing. At the same time, Miss G goes to the local village and finds a small room she can live in, showing that all her tales of her travels have indeed been fake like Fiamma had told Dee, and she has been perhaps habiting this small room instead. In a scene that perhaps allows the viewer to understand Miss G's personality better, we see her put her few personal possessions on her bedside table. She puts one item there and then quickly removes it to make room for another item. After that, she counts the items to ensure there are only 5. The viewer is then reminded that when Fiamma arrived at the school, in the dorm room Dee had told her that only 5 personal items could be displayed on her night table at one time.